You're watching Byline Wilmington on CBS 10 WILM. Here's your host, Don Ansell.
State Senator Thom Goolsby is our guest this morning. We're talking about a revolution in Raleigh with the Republicans now in charge of the General Assembly for the first time in over 100 years. Another big issue you went to Raleigh to change were the North Carolina annexation laws.
Yes.
So give us an update on that.
Well, forced annexation we've already voted it out of the Senate. It's over in the House to be approved.
Will that work? Will that pass?
I believe it will. We will stop it. Now, what we've done is we've got two things we have to do. The first is stop forced annexation. Committee I'm on voted that out. It has been, and then we took it to the Senate floor. It passed. We've sent it over to the House. They will pass it. And then what will happen is it'll basically be a one-year moratorium. In that time period, we will pass a bill that will
Does the governor have to sign this temporary?
Yeah, she has to sign all laws. And, well, it depends. We're veto-proof in the Senate, and I think it'll be veto-proof in the House. So
with enough to
override any veto. So, but I'll be surprised. I mean, that was not a party line vote. So, and it won't be in the House. It will not be a party line vote.
So it'll be a strong vote.
Yeah, just like our medical malpractice reform bill was not a party line vote.
Which we'll talk about that in a minute.
But about forced annexation, people ask me where I come down on that, and of course, people as a whole, I think maybe I've gotten one email of someone I've gotten no email of anybody opposing forced annexation.
Well, the city of Wilmington is opposed to
this
legislation.
I know,
They're not happy.
Our city council is,
right.
But as far as the citizens are, I live in the city. I'm not opposed to stopping forced annexation. And basically, we see it as taxation without representation. I mean, if you want to annex people, give them a vote and let them decide if the services and the taxes are worth it. If not, why bring somebody into your city that doesn't want to be there?
Now, the city council recently passed a resolution opposing state legislation regarding annexation. Does that have any impact?
No.
No.
I'm going to do what the people elected me
No, I
to
mean,
do.
What was the purpose of that, do you think,
I don't know.
of the city council
I don't know.
taking the time?
Because clearly the voters in New Hanover County, clearly the people see it as, I think, as we do, that it's taxation without representation.
And aside from annexation, there was a recent report that the city was not real happy with the local delegation as far as their priorities go in general in Raleigh. Would you say that's accurate? I
work for all the people of New Hanover County, and I'm going to do
there is friction between the local delegation?
No. I mean, I know the city council members. I was dealing with one yesterday, helping them with some legislation they need to deal with the Civil Service Act. I'm happy to do everything I can to work with our city leaders. I live downtown. I appreciate downtown. I want to do everything I can to help. But when it comes to annexation, I was clear when I ran. I will not back down from the things I promised to do, and I will do it.
Are there other issues that you're at odds with council about other than annexation?
Maybe some increased taxing authority and such. I'm not going to vote for anything to increase taxes on people or to give anyone else the ability to increase taxes. I'm just not going to do it.
How about relations with New Hanover County Commission?
Good.
Good?
Yeah. They
better than with city?
I don't have a problem with this. I mean, I've been up front from the very beginning. I'll not vote for any tax increase, and I'll not do anything to help annex other people. I just won't do it. And I've been strong on that, and that's just the way, that's what I ran on, it's what I promised, it's what I'm going to do.
Let's talk about state issues. No secret, severe budget shortfall issues.
$3.1 billion, and I'll take issue with the governor's $2.4 billion. Hers is continuing the tax they put on all of us that took $1.2 billion out of our pockets last year, $1.3 billion.
The
increased sales tax.
Sales tax, it was a temporary measure. She wants to
make it permanent,
just
like so many of our taxes.
You're against that?
I'm absolutely against it.
How do you propose to bridge the gap, the budget shortfall?
We are cutting across departments, and I don't mean these aren't just across the board cuts. We are targeting cuts. We are going to remove the fat out of government, extra levels of bureaucracy, things that the government doesn't need to do that we can't do. Our budget in North Carolina in the last 10 years has grown 63%, adjusted for inflation per person. Name me something else in our economy that's grown that fast.
All right, the governor has proposed cutting like 10,000 jobs. Is that accurate?
She's proposed a number of
Now
things.
that includes vacancies that have not been
filled.
Not been filled.
She's also knocked a lot of things that she's cut out of her budget that is nothing but passing the buck. I mean, when she says we're going to cut all this money on reimbursement to schools for buses and for tort things and all she did was literally kick the can down to the counties. That is not.
So where do you propose to find this money?
Well, I'm on Justice and Public Safety. I'm a co-chair of that committee. And we are having our hearings right now. Every appropriations committee is meeting every day that we're in session. And we are going through our targeted list is we are to cut 10% of that budget. Some of the departments have to cut 15%, and we're literally going program by program by program.
So you come up with a budget, and the House comes up with a budget.
We're actually doing it. This is different than the way it's been done in the past. The way it was done last year, the powers that be came up with a budget.
The Democrats.
They came out and said, here it is. The leadership did. Here it is. You have 2 hours to debate it and up or down vote. It went along party lines. The Democrats had the numbers. There it is. There's your tax increase. There's your growth. There it's gone.
And then you had a Democratic governor to stamp it.
To rubber stamp it.
Okay,
and
so
then it's
this
done.
year, the process
we
is...
are doing... you can go online and you can hear, you can come up to Raleigh, you can see every appropriations meeting. We are doing joint sessions. So the House and the Senate leaders are there together.
So once you come to a budget, it'll already have consensus from both chambers.
Absolutely.
Now, what about the governor?
She's already rejected our attempt to grab for $730 million that was unencumbered, unspent, to help go to that. She's already rejected that. We just passed a bill this last week that goes to her and says, okay, Governor, you didn't like our picks of funds to grab, you take them. You find them, because ours were unencumbered, unspent monies.
So how do you find consensus between the Republican-run House and Senate and the governor's office? How do you find consensus so you can have a budget?
Well, we are hopeful that we are not going to raise taxes, so we don't accept the governor's $2.4 billion shortfall. It's $3.1 billion. We're not going to raise taxes on the
And you're
people.
not going to okay the end of the sunshine, continuing on with the temporary sales tax?
Yeah, no, because it actually is done.
So how do you
we cut
together?
We cut government. We cut spending.
And will the governor sign off on that?
Well, we hope that she will. It would be a sad day in North Carolina if she decided we have to cut. I mean, we can't deficit spend. We are not like the federal government. We cannot print money. I mean, we have to balance our budget.
If she draws a line in the sand and the General Assembly draws a line in the sand, where are we? What happens?
Well, at the end of the day, North Carolina cannot spend dollars North Carolina doesn't have. And at the end of the day, we're going to present her with a responsible budget, and I'm confident that she will see the light in that, and she'll sign it.
And if she doesn't, does everything come to a stop, a halt? Is it like
I don't know. Anything can happen. Anything, because if we don't balance our budget, I mean, literally, we don't make the payroll. Right. So I mean, we are. I mean, and Don, you have to understand the way we got here is we took all the Obama money we got over the last few years. We added that in. We spent all that. We took all the money from the extra taxes. We spent all that. And if we got just 1 second,
well,
we have just.
Yeah.
I was in. We had Barry Boardman, who is the chief economist of the General Assembly. We had in fiscal research. He came in, and one of the freshman senators who didn't know any better said, "Wait a minute. Let me understand where we are fiscally. We've got a multi-billion-dollar debt. Last year when they passed the budget, did you tell them what this was going to be?" I did, and they passed it anyway. They did.
We're going to stop there and take a break. We'll come back. Tort reforms next. Stay with us.